I just feel like this is so freaking awkward. Hi, welcome back to my channel, and if you're brand new here, then welcome. My name is Jacqueline, and this channel is mainly about fitness and telling stories about my life and just my daily routine. My husband's in a couple of videos too. We have a lot of fun together. So today I'm going to tell you about a ghost story. I know it's Halloween, I know it's a hot topic right now, so I'm gonna cover it, which is funny because hot topic. It's funny because the joke's funny because hot topic is like creepy and has like ghost stuff in it, and this is a ghost story. So this story takes place back in 2011. I was going to a school that was a Bible school, and so one of the things that we got to do back in March was like a lot of college kids are like, woo, spring break, but for us we were like, woo, mission trip. So we went to Hungary, Italy, and Austria, and Sabanya, Hungary is where this takes place. We were staying in this place that is, they call it a hostel, but it more looked like a really old college dorm kind of sort of place, but not really. The room was pretty much square shaped. So here was the entrance. It was very small. The door was literally probably like this thin, no joke, and there was a hole in it. But you know what? I was with 3 other girls, and the type of girls that I was with, we were a little bit more tomboyish. We were just kind of these tough chicks that we really didn't care about things that were creepy or scary. We weren't scared for our own life. We knew how to fend for ourselves, and we knew how to protect each other. And we weren't thinking during the time like, oh my gosh, this is scary, this is creepy. We were just like, hey, this is where we're staying for the night. Cool, no big deal. New experiences, new adventures, everything. Everything's fine. The guys that were with us as well, they were staying, and the hallway was like real tiny then. Everything, yeah, it's small there, but they were right across the hallway from us. Their door was just as slim as ours. So if we were to scream or anything to happen, people would hear us and they would be like, oh my gosh, let's go help the girls. But you know, we weren't worried about that, as I said before. So anyways, the guys across the hall, and then there was a little bathroom area right here. When I say the little bathroom area, no toilet. Like the toilets, you had to walk down this creepy ass hallway, like that was the only creepy thing. It was just like, once you entered into that hallway, like way down the way, there was kind of a bar downstairs connected to it. Like there was the hallway, and then you went down these stairs, and there was a little bar. The bathroom was unisex, so anybody could use the bathroom. And we had a little shower in there. And when I say little, I mean I'm a big girl, so it was like I was having to stand around like this, and the water was hitting me and going everywhere. It was like exiting out the hole in the door, and I couldn't. It was a mess. But so we started off our night like that, like them us joking and me trying to take a shower, and it was just, that was the joke in itself. Like, so there's a little shower right here, and then a sink area, and when you took a shower, the water went all over the sink. When the sink turned on, the water went all over the shower. It was a mess. So then we had a bed here, a bed here, a bed here, and a bed here. And there were some windows, but they were more like the windows that you have to like push the bottom of it, and then they're slanted open a little bit. And then these huge concrete walls is what surrounded the entire thing. And they were thick, like real thick concrete walls. So basically you can't hear, if someone was banging on the wall on the other side, then you would not be able to hear it because they're so thick, and it was just like prehistoric. I mean, things in Europe have been there for years, so it was pretty old. So I was sleeping here. X marks the spot, that's me. And then a girl who had been on this mission trip before to Europe and stuff, she was sleeping here, and she has actually encountered a lot of ghosts. We'll call her Stephanie. Amber, we'll call her Amber, and then we had Brittany down here. Sorry if I mix up the names, it's not their actual names. Anyways, here I am, here's me, Jacqueline, sitting right there. And then we have Stephanie, Amber, and Brittany. So I tried pushing the beds together, and I'm pretty strong. So I might be big, but I'm very strong, and I do work out. So if you want to go work out my fitness stuff, go check that out in the other videos. But that's besides the point. This is a different story. So I tried putting all the beds together so we could all be like together and close, you know, like let's have slumber party, be like cool girls, you know. But so I managed to get these 2 beds together, so they ended up being Amber and Brittany's bed got to be together like that. But I was too exhausted after this, and literally the beds were like these huge giant planks of wood that literally had a sheet over it. And that was the bed. Like that was them being like, we are the hostess with the mostest. You got a sheet. No pillow or anything, it was just a sheet over a box. That was it. It was like, is this my coffin? Or whatever. we should pray and then go to sleep and then like start off this part of our trip in a good sense and everything is together. But we are all so exhausted at that point that we literally lay down and just fell right to sleep. Nothing in our minds I was thinking like, oh hey, we might get creeped out, or hey, oh my gosh, this place could be like haunted, there could be like serial killers down the way, there could be this, there could be that. No, there was none of that. We were just having fun, making jokes, like hey, let's pray before we go to sleep, just a little bit of small talk, hello talk, and we all just knocked out. So during that time, in the first couple of hours of sleep, Brittany is awake, and she hears, other than voices around their beds. She hears voices, and not just like, the windows weren't open, and yes, we did have a hole around the very thin door. However, they weren't voices that were like in the distance. They were voices behind her, next to her, on this side. There's no confusion for whenever someone's talking to you from way out here and you're like, oh hey, I hear voices in the background. Oh, there's someone might be outside. It's literally like, hey, there's voices right next to you. So yeah, you're gonna hear that and start freaking out when you hear all these voices right here. And it's not like she was a crazy person or anything like that. She was very down to earth, like very down to earth, a very realistic kind of thinker. So she wasn't making this up, and she can hear people walking around their bed and making a lot of noise. So she wakes up Amber, and Amber hears it as well. So it's not something that Brittany's making up, you know, to make this story or to creep everybody out, which is not the kind of person that she was at all. So she wakes her up, and they're both kind of, she starts crying a little bit, and they're like holding each other like, what do we do, what do we do? And of course, the voices start coming over here. They can hear it shift over to my bed. Me, of course, just over there by myself, of course, me. There are voices that move over here. The voices are still surrounding them, but they're also surrounding me as well. But all the footsteps and stuff are now over at my bed. While in the meantime, tossing and turning in my sleep, obviously having bad dreams, fumbling around, something's going wrong, you know, midst over by me. So obviously a dark presence has moved over from them over to me, and is now solely attacking me by itself. But it wasn't just one. I don't know if you've ever had like out-of-body experiences or dreams that you're like, wait, is this really a dream or is this real life? Because I feel pretty awake right now and everything seems pretty real. And I know there's sleep paralysis, but this is completely different. Trust me, I'm a nursing major and I've studied psychology and all this other freaking crap to know about this kind of stuff, and this is different. It's a different kind of thing. So especially someone who doesn't believe in ghosts or demons, you're not going to believe in this at all. You're just going to be like, oh, there's a logical reason for it. Trust me, when something like this happens to you, you look for a logical reason, like there's no way this could happen. There has to be a scientific reason, but you can't find one. I can see some dark figures surrounding me. By the way, Stephanie is just real right asleep this entire time. Nothing bothering her. She's good. I feel like there's a figure here, here, and here, but it's like, and here's the wall. There's a wall right behind me which enters in. So this is a wall. They're surrounding, and they're like, I want to say 6 feet, but it was more like 10 feet. And the buildings in this, the ceilings in this building were like really, really tall. So, and we're also on the second floor. I don't know if that makes a difference with anything, but we were on the second floor. So even if we were on the lower floor and someone like had snuck in or something like that, there would be no way. Like there was no way. It was too tall. And the windows were closed, everything. And it was dead quiet at night. We were basically the only two, like we had a little small group of like 14 people. We were like the only people staying in that place besides the guy that owned it, and he was like drinking with the guys down in the bar like way down the other end. And this happened at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. These giant tall figures that were black, and the closest I can say that to describe them was they were like kind of like dementors, just black but had a face, but there was no face all at the same time. So no figure, but there is a figure. So just really tall black masses with eyes that were penetrating into your soul. Now, one of them comes from this side of the room and then literally jumps on top of me, like over me like this, and is screaming in my face like, ah! Almost like this high-pitched scream that I cannot remake whatsoever. There's no sound that I've ever heard, movies, nothing could ever remake this sound. And it was right in my face, right on top of my body, and like its scream became my scream, and all of a sudden it was coming out of my mouth. Like true, real fear was coming at me right this instant. I know people have been on roller coasters or gone through scary haunted houses or had like experiences that were scary or just like almost death-defying, where it's like fear, but this was true fear. This fear that I've never experienced before and I never want to experience again. It was terrifying. Just the utmost. It feels like there could be no happiness in you again whatsoever. There's no light. There could be no good times. This is the end, and it's not even like the end, like everything's coming to an end. It's an end of everything else. This is it forever, and it doesn't feel like a moment could go on. It feels like the moment freezes, and you're stuck right there, and you can't think past it. Nothing is going to move past it. It's just like the worst feeling in your entire soul and body is felt with it. The scream became my scream, and I am just paralyzed. And I'm trying to move, I'm trying to get up, and it slams against the wall behind me, and they can hear it slam. They heard it scream, and they heard me scream. They hear it slam against the wall behind me, and somehow I managed to just crawl over to their bed, and now we're all crying and sobbing. Stephanie, dead asleep, God. Still, with all of that happening, and so we're crying and stuff like that, and we're like, we don't know what to do. Now the voices all around all of us. We're like, okay, what do we do? And we're like, Stephanie, wake up, and she's not waking up, of course. So we're like, okay, what do we do? And we once did this one play. I'll link the description down below. It's like a Jesus play that that's what we had been performing as like our little theater arts crew around the different places that we're doing missionary work, to do more of like a visual concept of how Jesus is involved in our life. Okay, the strongest thing that we have is prayer. And some of you might not believe in that, but it truly does work. So we all get down and we start praying, and we're like, God, please protect us, give us the spirit of peace, like help us get through this, just through this night, and just protect us around us. You can have things happen around us, but just protect this little circle. So suddenly, it just felt like he went over us like a true father and just put his arms around us, and it was like a blanket was over us. So it's almost like you could see everything happening in front of you that was terrifying and terrible, and the stuff kept going, but this little umbrella above us was just completely peaceful, and nothing could hurt us and nothing could harm us, and it's just true peace just filled our spirit. Mind you, before I was terrified like nothing could ever be good again, ever, and then suddenly this fills my spirit, like it's totally God, and it was totally a spirit thing. We finally like nudge Stephanie, like we're throwing stuff at her, and she finally wakes up, and then she's like, oh hey guys, what's going on? And we're like, are you serious? So then she comes over to us, we explain what happens, and we pray some more, and then we all fell asleep on these two little beds together, just curled up. And so then that morning when we woke up, we decided, let's not tell anybody, so that we don't like anger or like give birth to more of these spirits and give them justice and stuff like that. So we're like, hey, let's not tell anybody. But like I kind of hinted at one of the guys, I was like, so how was your night? How did you sleep? And they were like, yeah, really good. You know, it was so peaceful last night. It was super quiet. Like we were all quiet, and we're like, how was it super quiet? Like it's kind of weird. So it's that spirit had put like a blanket in between our little living space to everyone else's, because the way that like all the voices and crashing and all the noises that was going inside of our little hostel room, and my screaming and it screaming, it's like everyone would have heard that. It was loud as hell. It was super crazy. Some things are unexplainable. So that was my story of the Hungarian Dementors. A couple of people I've told this story to, they don't believe me. If you don't believe me, I don't care. It actually did happen to me and a couple other girls, and it's fine. It stays that way. So if you believe it, believe it. If not, that's all up to you. It really doesn't affect my day whatsoever. I hope you enjoyed it. I have tons more ghost haunted stories that have happened to me. I'm someone that is very susceptible to these kind of things and spirits and things like that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, comment below. If you have any experiences like that, comment below. Also, comment below if you want to hear more of these kind of stories. And so welcome to my channel, and check out my other videos if you want to see the kind of stuff of what I eat, my fitness, and my husband and my little two doggos. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye. Hey guys, so I literally just stopped filming, and I reached down for my LaCroix can, and I drank out of it, and like the bottom of it, there was something hard and round. I went over to my bathroom, I'm looking in the back of my throat, and I literally, once I left this room, I heard something go, like as if my jewelry had been knocked over or something like that. That's what it sounded like. I ran back in here, nothing. This is why you don't talk about spirits and ghosts, because shit happens afterwards. So just be careful. Please pray. I'm gonna be praying. So enjoy this video, and oh my gosh, be careful.